Hello and welcome, everybody. This is the morning show. I am your host, Steve Strazza, Chief Market Strategist at All Star Charts. We do the show every day, 8 o'clock, 8:30 Eastern Time, but I'm all alone today. No JC, no Spencer. We have a great guest, my dear friend, John Salama. We were just hanging out in New Orleans. That'll be fun. I've invited some other friends on. We'll see if anybody wants to join me. It almost seems like nobody wants to do the show with me today, but that's just fine because we have a ton of charts and a bunch of stuff to talk about. I want to talk about this little roundtable from yesterday, these new Trump accounts. We got some headlines out this morning, and we got Bitcoin pressing back to new all time highs. So let's hit it, Izzy, and jump right into the morning show. What's up, everybody? Good morning, chat. I've asked Sean Harmander and I've asked Jason. Everybody's busy. Trust me. We'll get somebody on here. Terrace Man versus Spaceman. Yep. So that's been a thing. John Solana, I've made that joke to him, Phil. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's just jump right in and hit it. It is Tuesday. We have Spaces, so make sure to join us on Spaces. We have a great group of guys. We hang out and chat markets every Tuesday at 11 o'clock. That's the chart report Spaces. I always tweet it out, and you can find it on the Twitter on the chart report account as well. I'm going to throw up my forum here. I just restarted my computer, so bear with me, and then we'll jump right in and hit some charts. But I thought that the roundtable situation yesterday was really interesting. And if you think back to, I guess this is the Invest America team or something like that. But if you think back to the last Trump presidency, there was a similar situation where stocks were zooming day in and day out on news of who was on his economic council or his business roundtable or whatever it was. It was chaired by the Blackstone guy back then. I forget his name now. But it seems like we got something similar going on because all the news yesterday, especially come the afternoon, was about Robinhood and Dell and different executives who would be at this roundtable. Because the way it goes in these political meetings is you go around, you kind of kiss the ring, and then the president says some nice things about you and maybe puts a bid in your stock. I think we're kind of going back to that sort of situation. So I was paying close attention. I also just think that these Trump accounts are super cool. I think it's really the right idea. I'm a big fan of it. So $1,000 for every new baby in an account, an investing account. Is it going to be a Robinhood account? I haven't had a chance to really read up on it, but Robinhood seems very at the forefront of this new initiative. I guess started last year. They backdate it and it goes to 2029. I don't know. What do you guys think? I want $1,000 in a Robinhood account. Is it too late for me? So that was the news, and then we had Bitcoin. So throw up the Bitcoin chart. Let's just go right there. We talked about it. Is this going to be some sort of, basing situation off of the April lows? Shown right here in the middle of the chart. Or is this going to be a V-shaped recovery? We just rip right higher, new all-time highs, and Bitcoin's already done it, right? We're waiting for the major averages in the U.S. stock market, S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, Dow Jones, God forbid ever the small caps, forget them. But we're still waiting for them to finish off this beautiful V-shaped recovery off of the April lows. Bitcoin's already done it. Bitcoin did it, consolidated in a bull flag for a couple weeks, and is now going again. So I think the price action in crypto right now really couldn't look much better. And it's the same theme that we keep seeing and keep talking about. If you throw up this ARCX chart, it speaks to the same thing. This to me is all about animal spirits. It's about offense. It's about a risk on environment. This is ARC Space Exploration Innovation. Talk about a V. This thing got slammed back down to its base breakout level from early 2024. Hard retest, like a slingshot right back to new all-time highs. These are some of the riskiest long duration equities that you're going to find in this market. They're the best stocks right now. Do we have a quantum chart? I don't think Fonz was ready for this one. But if you pull up a chart of QTUM, same thing. Quantum computing stocks. Some of the biggest story stocks, some of the riskiest names, best performers right now. Stocks like Palantir, new all-time highs. The AI trade seems to be back on for now. I wouldn't overthink Broadcom's little sell-off on earnings. Semiconductors look great. The China-US stuff seems to be falling, to the back burner. Those headlines seem to be less and less important to the market. And if you look at developed equities and international equities, more and more every day, V-shaped recoveries. So I think it's almost a foregone conclusion. We should expect the NASDAQ 100, the S&P to follow. International markets, things like Bitcoin, things like space and exploration stocks. Crazy to think, but yes, those are the leaders right now. Better than the Mag 7 names. It's like every executive order that gets put out or signed by Trump, space stocks are up another 15%. There's QTUM. Yeah, so some really nice fees there. Pretty charts. Now throw up some bull flags, right? Because we talked about in a note last week how this would be a big follow through week. And we're seeing it. Yesterday was solid. We used ARK as an example, but you see this pattern everywhere, right? A nice launch off of those April lows, pretty much without much corrective action at all, into this bull flag situation, couple weeks, and now popping out of that. Go look at the large cap sector spiders. You'll see this. Tech, industrials, NASDAQ, same thing. Do we have any others? Any other bull flag examples? So look for a follow through week. I think this move, this bull flag resolution in the indexes probably gets us to those new all-time highs. Definitely. Yeah, I think it is the only ETF for ARK that's currently at all-time highs, Harminder. Yeah, that isn't that a nice, funny joke? These stocks are literally going to the moon. Some of them are. Not the EV tolls, which were really what was driving the strength in that fund yesterday. It was like the Archer and the Joby. From what I understand, those are electric helicopters. I don't think that they can go to the moon. But some of those stocks are going to the moon or making internet on Mars or crazy stuff. You had this situation with the AST space machine, Space Mobile, whatever. Is it mobile? Space Mobile? Probably because it's internet. So that's ASTS. We've been watching this stock for so long in this massive coil. Throw that chart up. Right, because this thing, one of the best stocks in the back half of last year. Look at that. From 2 to 40. 20x. Incredible. New all-time highs into this huge chop formation. Big consolidation. Some people would draw this like a diamond. You could do all sorts of different things. It's a continuation pattern after an incredible rally phase, right? So you just lean in the direction of the underlying trend at that point. I'm not going to look at a stock that just went from 2 to 40 and be like, oh, this consolidation probably resolves lower. Hell no, right? We're going to try to find that level or pick that spot where it looks like this coil is finally resolving and get involved and lean into the direction of more upside. And I think you're finally getting that up leg now. How this isn't in the ARKX ETF kind of blows my mind. But they were asking Trump, and I think that there was a huge bid for this stock all day yesterday because of this little spat or feud that is going on between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, which seemed to have de-escalated a bit yesterday. But the market was looking for, because Trump just made the comments about how he's giving away his Tesla a couple days ago. So the market was looking for him to say bad things about Starlink. And I don't know if there's some sort of like White House Starlink or something. But I think the hope was, or the idea was, with the way this stock was launching during the day, was that Trump would knock Starlink or say something bad about Starlink, and ASTS, I think, is their closest competitor and maybe the alternative. But he did not. They asked him, they gave him a chance to, and he said, no, I don't think we're going to do anything with Starlink. So that's the kind of market that we're in. It's important to be mindful of why some of these crazy stocks are moving, but you still don't have to overthink it. Yeah, we could bring Sean in. I told you I have friends. I told you stuff.
Hey, you looked lonely this morning, buddy. I'm sorry.
I threw out a bunch of like feeler texts this morning because you're usually not available. Thanks for hopping on. Sean's usually not available until like the back half of the show. So I texted Pat. No, not even awake. He's busy. So then I told you. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for
Hey,
joining me.
man.
We don't do this enough.
I just had to cut my dog walk short, so you made an enemy in my dog, but
Um,
that's okay.
tell him sorry for me. What
Hey,
do you think about what I'm saying? It's a follow through week. We had textbook bull flags coming off of just a massive rally phase from the April lows. Like this is clean and clear as day. They're resolving higher. The list is growing every day, the ones that are breaking out. So we just lean in the direction of new all-time highs for now, no?
I think so. I mean, if we were to fail in reverse here this week, that would be
Nasty.
concerning. That
And
would be
and
concerning.
Sean, there was a moment late last week where I was saying watch these things, and it looked like that because we had some indecision like Thursday, even early Friday, where it was a little choppy out of there. But
Yep.
come to close of last week, the evidence was pretty clear. So I think the odds of failure at this point are very low. Some of these resolutions have been decisive, to say the least. You look at like that candle in ARC.
Yeah. Speaking of failures or failures that some nefarious forces maybe wanted to try to force, can we
Yeah,
talk about what happened with Robinhood yesterday and that BS short report that came out that spooked everybody for about 5 minutes?
that was the huge like downgrade that I saw from that no-name firm
Yeah,
yesterday.
the captain's log. That's the name of the company that issued this
Dude,
report. I mean, I don't know
okay.
anything about the captain's log. I'm sure they're great people, but who the heck are they? And why are
No,
more
Sean.
people?
First of all, stop it. I'm sure they're fucking terrible people. And these short sellers get in trouble for this stuff because it's gotten really ridiculous. And with the rise of the internet, it's only going to get worse. Any
Yep.
coward could just come out here, say some bullshit, and try to tank a stock and profit off of it. They should go after those people.
I mean, it was very suspicious timing, right? The stock had a fresh breakout. Everything was looking great. And then a short seller comes out with a report and knocks it down, I don't know what, 5 points at the open yesterday. It got
Yep.
quickly bought up and then closed on the highs. Ended up being a meaningless down day. I mean, I think it was only down like less than 1%.
Sean, did you see the headlines yesterday? What are like they're stepping in front of a steamroller with this one. Robinhood is apparently going to, like, I think, be the provider of these $1,000 Trump accounts. Like, they're in, man. Vlad's taking pictures at the White House. Don't get in the way of this thing. You crazy?
Okay,
No, I'm
wait.
serious. He was like
I,
at this special meeting yesterday, and Robinhood is doing something. Chat, can you confirm the Trump accounts? What do they have to do with Robinhood? It's like Brad Gerstner's initiative. You didn't hear about this?
I did not hear that part. No.
All right, so listen, every new baby starting, I believe, year end last year and going to 2029, $1,000 in an investment account.
Oh, is this from Dell?
He's on the committee as well. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay,
Invest
I did see
America or
something about
whatever.
that.
Yeah, he was there. He
You,
spoke. And
there
I'll
were
tell you,
similar.
yeah,
I was gonna say there were similar shenanigans, not just in Robinhood yesterday, but also in Groupon, which
a
I'm a
lot of
little salty
shenanigans.
about because I have a long position in Groupon.
Tell me what the shenanigans were. This is a shenanigan market.
It's a shenanigan market, and you know what? Actually, now that I'm a little foggy. It's still early where I live here, and this captain's log thing. I think I misspoke. Captain's log was railing against Groupon, not Robinhood. Excuse me. Groupon
Okay.
was the one that they went after yesterday,
So there
midday.
was no short report on Robinhood because there was a big analyst downgrade that I saw in the morning.
Yeah, that's what it was. The
Okay.
analyst downgrade for Robinhood, the short report for Groupon. Anyway, the short, who cares about the short report? Like we established, it was a company
Groupon
we've never
probably is
heard
a
of.
long-term short. Who the
Hey,
fuck who uses that anymore? When's the last time you've been on Groupon? Because this is a product or a service we used to use. You
loved
remember?
it. When it first
Yeah.
came out, I loved it.
So if no one talks about it or uses it anymore, why is the stock doing this?
Well, the short report that came out allegedly questioned their accounting practices. So, and that's the extent of what I know on that.
What
Um,
else is new?
but hey, man, when Groupon first came out, I lived in Chicago. In fact, I had met the founder of Groupon. He worked at a company I was at, by the way. So that's a different story. But when Groupon first came out, one of their very first deals in Chicago was they had deals on Wrigley Field rooftops, and
Oh
you
yeah,
could get like for like $50. I mean, you remember when we did the
I've
rooftop
been
last
there.
summer? You know that experience. For us, it was like $50. It was all you can eat, all you can drink, a great view of the
Yeah,
game, and we did that. We
sick.
did that a bunch of times. It was awesome.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
Anyway,
We were shopping the deals back in the day. Um,
yeah, man.
all right, so listen, back to Invest America. Also from that panel was Dara K, the Uber guy. He has just such an incredible story. I've heard parts of it before, but he kind of like spoke on it really briefly at the meeting. His parents fled during the Iranian Revolution when he was 9 years old, came to this
Hmm.
country, and now he's the CEO of Uber.
Wow.
Really cool, you know?
That is cool. And Uber stock, I like the way it's bounced off last week's little whatever you want to call that, give back. I don't want to call it a correction, but a retest of the breakout. And it's bouncing well off that now.
So
Stock
many
is
of these will be frauds. Good short sellers could probably clean up in this market. The I see in the chat this Tempest AI smelled a lot like the TEMBS. I don't know what you're referring to, but when I see a stock like Tempest AI named like Tempest AI, coiled up like Tempest AI, I buy it. I don't ask any questions. Not
what's
in
that
this
ticker?
shenanigan market. TEM.
TEM.
I'm at the point now, for what it's worth from a sentiment perspective, where my friends text me a ticker. I don't even look at the chart. I'm buying it. I'm like, I'm in with you, dog. Sean called me last night. He's like, we're doing Moderna calls. Done. Let's go. Which ones? That's where I'm at in this market, dude. It's becoming a throw a dart market. It really is. It's becoming harder and harder to miss. And frankly, it's all the sketchiest stuff moving first. If you think the big cap techs, the quality stuff, won't eventually play catch up, crazy. That's going to be the next rotational wave. Now you got big catch up moves from the best tech stocks in the world to the worst ones. Great. What a setup.
I see in the chat that Tempest AI and Groupon have offices in the same building.
Hilarious. Buy them both. Probably WeWork buildings.
Uh, I love it.
Sean,
I
you
love.
bullish on Airbnb? I'm in
Um,
array. Sean K. I'm in array. I'm in calls right now. The ARY. Been watching that one. Have lost money on it several times since last year. It's finally going. Nice squeeze there.
am I bullish on Airbnb? Well, I'm bullish on the as a customer. I'm bullish on it. As I'm looking at the chart, to me, it feels like it's got a little more work to do.
Yes.
I mean, what the hell happened in February? We had that huge gap that immediately retraced, and now we're just kind of stuck in the middle of that. I don't know. I don't like it. Not for me.
This is one
Not
of those
here.
names like I want to like. I want to own it long term. I just don't know. Just don't know.
Yep.
I think there's a
Hey,
time. There's a time and a place for good Airbnb.
right, right. And
Really.
I've had nothing but I shouldn't say nothing, but mostly great experiences with Airbnb. There's been a few clunkers, generally in the New York City area. Airbnb in New
Right.
York City sucks.
Well, and this is something you learn as you travel more and more. There's certain locations where Airbnb is going to be better and give you better options. And then there's other certain locations where it's like, you're crazy. Like, you don't get an Airbnb at Miami Beach. You just stay at one of the millions of hotels. Right? I
Right.
would say same with anything around New York. New York people are crazy. You don't want to stay in their homes.
Or they're industrial apartments that they've basically set up just to be Airbnbs, and they're just like they feel like
Aram in the
hospitals.
chat is right. You're absolutely right. So this is what happened yesterday. Robinhood, they thought was going to get included into the S&P 500. I did not. I'm not surprised that Coinbase was included and Robinhood wasn't, by the way. And they got snuffed yesterday. So that's part of the pressure on the stock. And that also was the case with, I believe, like AppLovin. I think people were hopeful that AppLovin was going to get stuck into the S&P 500 too soon.
How?
Maybe
Yeah,
next month.
that one seems way too soon. App 11.
Too soon. Robinhood too, still.
Yeah.
Tremendous growth from Robinhood. They've done all the right things for the past year now.
Yeah,
Um,
Robinhood will be there someday. I mean, who cares when it happens? But it'll happen. I mean, we've talked about Robinhood over and over the years. It's a phenomenal app. Whatever you think of the people who use it, it doesn't matter. It's a phenomenal app. It makes investing super easy for the casual investor. I have an account. I use it for my son. We have a small little investing account for my son, and it's amazing. And we just buy like, 2 and 3 and 4 shares. We're, nothing like tiny positions, but it's so easy to use and it's visual. And my son loves it. He can see what his line is doing. It's all that's what he asks. How's my line doing? And he can see how his equity is trending, and it's great.
that's
And
that's such a good way to teach him and get him like interested now. 'Cause I feel like if more kids knew how cool the stock market was, they would want in.
yeah, and a lot of people make noise about how Robinhood has gamified the trading and all the bells
Good.
and whistles and confetti that go off in the app. And
Love it.
yeah, that stuff's a little childish, but whatever. If it gets people involved, it gets people
Wait,
excited, then great.
you get confetti when you like sell stuff? I don't get confetti.
I don't remember exactly when the confetti happens, but it has happened with me, where I've clicked a button or something, all of a sudden, woo, confetti goes off.
I need that.
Yeah, I think I got it like when I got like a notification that we received a dividend, and it was like free money.
You should be able to set custom sounds for your actions on your brokerage account in the same way that you can on your iPhone. For example, 15 years ago when we first got cell phones, I could set any song that I wanted as my ringtone. When I sell something for 10x, I should be able to pick a song and it should come on and blast through my speakers.
What would be
Who's
your
doing this?
10x? What would be your 10x walk up song? What would that be?
Pet Shop Boys, man. Opportunities every time.
Pet Shop.
That's my
You don't
take
strike me
profit
as a Pet
jam.
Shop Boys guy. You
Oh,
strike me
big
as that
Pet
guy.
Shop Boys guy. Yeah, I'm a
Really?
big rock and roll guy. hmm hmm
Okay. All right. I'll put together a Pet Shop Boys playlist for you next time we hang out.
No, but that's a special song. What else? What else we got here? Confetti was 8 years ago. All right, fine.
It was 8 years ago. Hey, by the way, so I know you've been paying attention to a lot of these stocks that they're not back at all-time highs yet, but they're coming off lows and being constructive. A couple names that granted, I'm talking my book here, but I'm really liking
Book talker.
particularly what they did yesterday. Pull up Warby Parker. I have the hard time saying that.
Warby,
Wa-
dude. Warby
or is
Parker.
it Warby? Warby
Yes.
Parker?
And it's glasses online. They send you glasses. You can
Yeah.
try them on.
They
It's
had
been
a
a big.
great
It's
brand.
been
I
a
feel like
trendy
that.
thing for as long as I can remember. Nice
Yeah.
base.
I feel like they had a really meaningful breakout yesterday. I'd like to see it follow through on that
Yep,
today. Kind of broke out of a, I don't know, high flag, you want to call that.
that's a good
Um,
one.
it's got about $6 to go to get back to all-time highs, but that one was doing well. And one area we haven't talked about, at least I don't feel like I've heard you guys talk about lately, is banks. And look at Citibank.
No, 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 no. Sean, stop it. Okay, we bought calls in Citibank last week.
Me too. Me too.
Okay, okay, because that's one of those bull flags that I'm talking about. And that was one of the early ones to go. And the big banks look a hell of a lot better than the little banks. Like, you think catch up with the regionals here or 2Q? Because the regionals, KRE doesn't look like City.
Mm. You know which one is setting up a nice pattern right now? I think is ready for a fresh buy. If it moves a couple points higher, is JP Morgan. Pull up that
Yeah.
chart.
And
Like
Sean, when you zoom, yeah, go ahead.
if it gets above like 269, I'm thinking that's the signal to buy it right there. 268, 269. We're knocking on the door right now.
I would rather buy the ones that don't look as good as JP Morgan. I don't know. Maybe it's just something that's wrong with my brain. I look at this chart and I'm like, really? When's City going to
Because
look more like
because you've
JPM?
been
And
getting
it's just never
rewarded
happened,
for
to be clear.
you've been getting rewarded for dumpster diving over the last few weeks. I don't blame you.
You're
You,
right.
you
You're right. It's polluting my brain. Um,
It works until it doesn't. It works
Chart
great
like
when it
Citigroup,
works.
Sean, look at the city, zoom out, throw up like a weekly, okay? Because there's a nice bull flag pattern that I would want much shorter dated calls to play, which is what we did. But then when you zoom out on this, going back to early 2018, I mean, we peaked and rolled over at this 80 and change level, one, two, three, four times now. This is a major polarity zone. So I think
Mm.
that's like in once cities in the 80s, like that's a leap pattern. I think.
A leap pattern.
Like City 110s, go crazy.
I think you know what? I never get to talk to Kenny, and Kenny's in the
You,
house.
you want to do it?
Yeah,
You want to
man,
do
bring
Kenny
Kenny up. I
today?
want to
I'll
talk to
go heat
Kenny.
up my coffee and then I'll come back and join
You
you
get your
guys.
coffee. I'm gonna hang with Kenny.
All right. Love.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tugged it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Yes, Kenny, my boy.
What's up, my man?
That is a beautiful shirt, my friend. That is
Thanks.
nice.
It's my vacation shirt. Got this in Venice Beach circa 92. Still rocking it.
Venice Beach, California. No place like it. How you been, my friend?
All right. Just got back from the Bermuda talking about you want to do absolutely nothing on vacation? Bermuda. That's where you want to be. Golf, and that's it. There's nothing else. Very small, very small city.
So I was thinking of you yesterday because I may have to do a cross-country road trip to help a family member move a car. And that cross-country road trip will begin in San Francisco. And I was thinking maybe I could parlay this into scheduling this around the time when that Grateful Dead or the Dead and Company a 3-day show is happening in Golden Gate Park.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kenny? Should we do it?
I would be there with you, except I'm driving down the East Coast. I got to get my girl back to Georgia. So I'll be driving too, my friend. I will bring you on the road, lugging some stuff down to Georgia. She's moving into the sorority house. This is crazy.
So, an offspring of yours moving into a sorority house. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, seeing where my son lived, he lived in the frat house for these last 2 years. Oh boy, I wouldn't have been able to do it. He was really happy to come home, but this house is beautiful where the girls live. They have a chef, kitchen.
Yeah, in the SEC down south, they do sorority houses differently.
Yes.
Fraternity houses too, but definitely sorority houses much differently. They're dare I say classy. They're nice places. They're really nice places. Yeah.
SEC in general. I've never been to an SEC football game until last year. That was something.
It is something. I mean, I've been to a bunch. As you know, I'm a Florida Gator fan, so I'm
all right. Take care then. All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah. You and I are predisposed not to agree on football, but that's okay. That's okay. So Kenny, I feel like I've got a stock in my portfolio that's right in your wheelhouse. I think you've talked about it, but I'm in the Space Mobile, ASTS.
Yes.
And it looks like it's finally the rocket ship looks like it's finally launched. What are you thinking? You watching this thing?
Absolutely. That was my top stock yesterday, other than it was Tesla, NVTS, ASTS, and some DocuSign. But yeah, ASTS, that stock was kind of like when, Bull, I don't know if you watched Bull, but Bull was going down every day, but that they had these monster rips on the upside. And as the stock was in an obvious downtrend, there was amazing buys all throughout it. ASTS was the same stock for the last year. So even though it had that monster run to 40 and then that downtrend back to 20, it's been a really good buy. And it's been pumped and dumped and pumped and dumped. And one of my favorite things is to see if it's not a pump and dump, then it comes back. And this one has come back. I'm going to go ahead and say, 85 different times. And now it's finally flirting with that little breakout. So this consolidation looks like we're going to get to that 39. And whatever you're doing, kids, when this thing breaks that 39, buy it, because it's probably going to 50 that day. That's the way it's been.
This one got on my radar. Shout out to my boy Riley. When we were down at Portfolio Accelerator in New Orleans back in mid-May, he talked about this during one of his presentations, and I was like, man, that shit makes sense. I'm in, and I got in, and I had to ride a little downtrend a little bit for a couple of weeks, but my patience has paid off, and the thing's ripping, and feeling good about it. Feeling good.
It looks really good. The first person to tip me off was Vaz. We had her as a guest in my room last week while I was gone. She was in this thing from $5, and that's when I was like, what is this bullshit pump and dump? And then next thing you know, if the pump continues to get pumped and the dump consolidates, you don't have a pump and dump anymore. I mean, you might. You might, Rabbit, you might. But it looks exceptional. But yeah, I really did like the action in yesterday, and if it follows through today, you're looking at all-time highs today.
Kenny, I'm glad I'm getting a chance to talk to you because, as you know, I run a traders meetup group in Colorado, and there's a super fan at my meetup group of yours.
Oh, yeah.
Huge super fan. It's a woman. She thinks you're the greatest person in the world. She says he's so incredibly smart and he's so incredibly funny, and he keeps me engaged all day long. Anyway,
My cousin.
I'm not trying to inflate your ego, but she did ask me a question which I didn't know the answer to, so I thought I would ask you because you're the master.
Yeah.
It's about the Faux Show Bro.
Yeah.
All right. She wanted me to ask, or she was asking me, and I was like, you know what? I don't really know. So let's ask Kenny. Is the Faux Show Bro one of these fractal patterns where it works on any time frame? So whether you're looking at an intraday chart or if you're looking at a weekly chart or weekly candles, is the Faux Show Bro still valid in those various time frames, or is it more just a short-term pattern?
All time frames. Yeah, that's what's great.
All time frames.
Yeah.
I thought that might be true, but I didn't want to speak for you when I was
right. If you think about it, the market just Faux Show Bro. So the big support, if you want to call it that, the last crash in August of last year was around that 420 zone on the Qs. We smashed through it during tariff tantrum, and then we got back above it. That was a big Faux Show Bro on the entire market, and we've rallied ever since. And we've had many Faux Show Bros and the power gap. I know we haven't had this conversation. You're wondering what the power. I saw you mentioned in one of your articles. We're still in the power gap. I mean, the market has been on such a tear that we've had two mini gaps and a power gap. Today is the 1 month anniversary of the power gap, which just makes it virtually impossible for the market to pull back right now. And you see what it's doing. And it's just the power gap just traps everybody. It traps the shorts that were still lazy and who didn't want to cover, and all the longs that were debating whether or not to get back in. They've now officially have FOMO. So it's a really hard time for the market to pull back. And you see it these last two weeks.
I'm definitely seeing it. If you're trying to make money on the short side, you're having a hard time. There's a few sectors. In fact, I called you out when I came on yesterday, just after you were on. You were saying that you couldn't find any pockets of weakness. And I said, well, hey, if you looked at the home builders, like things like KB Home and Lennar, they're still struggling, man. They can't seem – it seems like they have every reason to bounce, but they haven't figured it out yet. And I don't know, maybe it's coming soon. Who knows?
Well, the industry is going through some tough times. People I know in real estate, they are not good, and all the adjustable rate loans and all that stuff, mostly with the bigger buildings and the construction loans. They're not having a good time right now. So the industry is, again, you heard the rumbling. It's true. There's still a lot of chaos, and there's a lot of just standstill. They're still waiting to see what happens with interest rates. So they got some issues. They definitely do.
Well, I don't know if you were paying attention. I was talking about this a couple of weeks ago, but my next door neighbor right over here, they were trying to sell their house, trying to get $950 for it, which I think is hilarious. Ended up, they finally sold it after it was on the market for about 2 months. They finally sold it, but they only got, I think, $840 for it. So they wanted $950, got $840. So I don't know. Sample size of one.
We're in a little gully. I just watched The Big Short again for the 1,000th time.
I've been meaning to rewatch that.
Oh my God. It enrages me every time. Every time. Yeah.
There's a good question just came into the chat. Theos is asking, does the Faux Show Bro use options or stock? Well, the Faux Show Bro doesn't use anything. It's just an indicator. How you express it is up to you, right?
Right. It's a chart pattern. Yeah. And what's great is if you use Thinkorswim, which is what my main chart that I use, and I trade in the money options. I trade in the money options because it just acts as if it's the stock. You'll see the same chart pattern. So yesterday with Tesla, when that broke 287 on the Faux Show Bro, you're buying the 290 calls. You're gonna see that pattern on the option chart itself. So yeah, just awesome. And by the way, Tesla, I think was the most ironic, hilarious trade ever. Someone said, "Oh man, I'm getting killed on this Tesla," and it got downgraded. It got downgraded. Ooh, buy more. Now you're downgrading the stock because of uncertainty? No kidding. And what a monster move it had yesterday.
Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, just because I think you would have a funny response to this, but have you been putting any taco trades on lately?
No, you know what I missed that whole thing because I was like, why are we calling them taco now? No, I've just been, for me, it's really is the same day over and over and again. The news is just like, it's almost incidental. I don't like when the news happens in the middle of a trade, like, oh my God, what's going on? Suddenly, because you can't fight that, no technical analysis could trump the news. But I haven't put any taco trades on. Except for I thought some of the U.S. when U.S. Steel started getting that bump, I thought Alcoa would come along for the ride, but it really didn't. That was my one, I guess, if you want to call it a taco trade.
Okay. That move in U.S. Steel was amazing. All right, Kenny, I know you want to get back to trading here. Any last thoughts? Any last tickers we need to keep an eye on today?
Yeah, speaking of, okay, I'll give you some taco USAR, right? I mean, the name of the company is basically, you throw USA in the name of anything. So it's USA rare earth, and we've had this debate for 20 years since the MCPs and the first rare earth pump and dumps and all those, that China is got all the rare earths. So why not name a company USA Rare Earth Incorporated? Let's go. And the funny thing is, I don't know where they are. They could be based out of China, and they just named the company that. But the stock's been on fire, and that's the market we're in right now. I mean, you name your company, you might as well just name your company AI Rockets Robots Space.com, and you're ready to go. I mean, this is 1999 all over again. But yeah, I've been watching USAR. It's been hot the last couple of days. Keep an eye on that one.
All right. Well, Kenny, dude, it's great to catch up with you, man. Hey, I'll be in New York City on Friday. I don't know if you want to play hooky early in day, but I got some time. I'm going to be doing a Yahoo Finance Hit Friday afternoon, and I'm inspired by the outfit that you wore last time you were on.
Yeah,
I may try to one up you.
Somebody asked me what that was all about. I was like, well, I remember the days where you weren't even allowed on the floor without a jacket. I wanted to wear a nicer shirt, but I also wanted to rep my dead stuff, so I just wore it all. I was like, all right, let's go. It was pretty funny. By the way, Strazza, I didn't get your text yesterday up until this morning. I don't know, I got hidden. Thank you, my man. Thank you for covering. You were a big hit. Again, we're on the same wavelength. We know the stocks that we like, and you're on fire, bro. So awesome stuff. Thank you for covering.
Thanks, man. No, I texted Kenny last night. I said it was really an honor getting to, drop in and do your room for a while last week, because I've been watching Kenny do his room for, God, I can't even remember how long. He's one of the guys in my early days, like Sean and JC and Brian Shannon, who kind of showed me, hey, you could do this. Like there's a path here where you could hang out and do what you love all day. So thank you for that. That was really a lot of fun.
Appreciate
We'll do it again.
Thank you.
Well, Kenny, I'll hit you up later. Maybe we could have lunch on Friday if you're willing to come into the city.
Yeah, I might be actually. All right, I'll see you guys. Good luck, everybody. Good seeing you.
All right.
ASTS.
Making lunch plans with Kenny. I like this.
Sean, everybody's talking about ASTS.
Everybody's talking about it.
Weren't you and Steve talking about it yesterday too?
Everybody.
No, Place.
Oh, Steve Place. Maybe.
Right?
It's the hot name, man. I'd been aware of it, but ever since Riley talked about it at the Portfolio Accelerator, I was like, oh, I kind of like this story. I'm not a guy who gets into the stories, but I like the story.
That was the first you heard about it?
No. I was aware of the company, but I hadn't really known too much about what they do until Riley kind of talked about it, which I thought was pretty cool.
They're like the only competitor to Starlink.
Yeah.
Awesome. Which is why the stock was pumping yesterday, because of the Trump-Musk feud. The way that he dunked on Tesla and said he's getting rid of his Tesla car or whatever last week, the market was thinking they're going to dunk on Starlink, and the White House is going to maybe get the ASTS internet instead. And they asked him at the meeting, and he was like, "Nah, Elon's cool."
Maybe Trump can send his car into space too, so he and Musk can have cars floating in space. Wouldn't that be awesome?
So I guess the bottom line is everybody is on board, and we will be going to the moon together. Kind of like awesome. the ladies who all went into orbit and then they came back, right? We're all going together.
Well, hey, speaking of New Orleans, another guest of ours who is in New Orleans, John Salama, is here with us right now. Can we bring him up? Is he?
Yo,
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
John,
There he
Salama.
is.
Good
What's
morning,
up, brother?
fellas. How are we?
You having fun in this market?
Yeah, it's been fun, man. 6,000 S&P again. Good times are here again. I know you are.
What have you been trading? What's standing out? What have you been making money on?
Man, so the gold miners and Bitcoin. I remember pounding the table over there in New Orleans, like Sean said, about Bitcoin and gold, and they are still crushing. I think the miners are giving you a small discount right now to get into a superstar. I brought a couple of charts. I don't know if Izzy has them, but
Call
yeah,
them
man.
out.
What's that?
Call them out. We'll throw them up.
All right, yeah, we can start with GDXJ. I think I sent these last night.
When I
GDXJ.
think of the gold miners, I look at a chart of gold, GLD. It seems so extended. It's like a tough trade at this point to buy here today. GDX and GDXJ, fresh breakouts.
Yeah,
Right?
interesting. They're both doing well with GLD gold just kind of going sideways over the last 2 months.
Catch up.
GDXJ, I want to bring this out. This is the best performing ETF out of all the 1Xs. So Strazza, get out of your 4X ETF junk or whatever. But GDXJ is now the number one. It's leapfrogged IBIT to be the number one ETF from last June through today. This is no, flash in the pan or flavor of the week. This is for real. Up 66% GDXJ, and I use it as a proxy for all the yellow metal stickiness. So gold is up a touch beneath that. I think like 45, 50% or so. GDX, the bigs are up about 60, but GDXJ has been the spot you want to be in, of course, as everyone's addicted to yield, and the GDXJ really moves.
Well, do you think silver is going to catch up?
It has, yeah. Straz called that one. I remember him really talking about silver and getting into the catch up instead of the muster. And I said, just do gold. And now I think silver's at 13-year highs. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's the SLV chart looks great right now.
Dude, all the miners are working. Like Kenny was just out here talking about rare earth. The rare earth miners are working. Copper miners are working. Look at Freeport. Silver miners finally working. Stuff like AG absolutely just on a tear. Gold miners, like John saying, have been working. I didn't realize they were on the top of the leaderboard. You're talking about trailing 12 months, right?
Yep. From last June 10th to today, up 66%, better than Bitcoin, better than ARK, better than China, better than anything.
And the juniors outperforming the majors a little bit.
Correct. By a touch,
You
it's
wanna
like
see
5-6%.
I think you want to see that. That tells me that these trends actually have legs. Because I look at a chart of gold, I think, man, this thing is extended. And then I look at silver gold and the juniors versus the majors, or silver miners versus silver, and all of the risk appetite ratios are saying we're just getting started.
Yeah, I think this GDXJ too is going to come on sale. You got a bearish divergence here. You didn't get overbought behavior with that new high recently. Didn't even scratch 70.
Yeah.
In the RSI, you can see on the bottom panel there. So I think this actually gets on sale to about 65, 66 bucks in the next 1 to 2 weeks. I'm bullish the market. I think we come within, in terms of SPY, I think we come within a rock's throw away of new all-time highs, and people let their foot off the gas for gold for a little bit. And that's going to be your entry in about 2 weeks, around 66 on this buddy, with about another $70 target. I don't think this name is done anywhere near. I think they're buying this globally.
Is that typically how you're trading, John? Because basically what you're talking about is buying a dip in one of the strongest uptrends in the market. Is that typically what you're looking to do out here?
We talked about in New Orleans. Yeah, I have triggers and screens and things built on, top-down analysis in terms of winners I want to be in terms of spaces, from geographic or a metal or commodity type ETF, and then I go into the sector and then subsector and then names. GDXJ is unavoidable. You got to be involved. Then I usually buy, like you said, when things dip to about the 21-day exponential or the 50-day simple moving average. Typically, they're kind of very close to each other. And then I'll start looking at buying call spreads, usually an at the money, kind of similar to what like Kenny was saying before. I usually try and get like those 60 delta calls. I'm not just yet about a 25 delta lifestyle like you guys are, but I'm still like a 60 delta call. I want something to be a little bit more juiced than regular calls, but more than stock rather.
No, I like it. What else are you watching?
I think you get that on sale soon, GDXJ. The next one I sent was IBIT. If you have this one, obviously things look great with Bitcoin, 110K or so. How can you not be bullish on the market if you got Bitcoin 110, you got SPY 600, EFA, Africa, multi-year highs? I think the best player in the game, it's like Steph Curry and SPY just picked up the ball and I was ready to come back into the game. We're ready.
Love it.
Hey, John, as an options trader, I'm curious if you have, indulge me here in a thought experiment.
Sure.
regarding IBIT and GLD.
Mhm.
I am of the thought that over a long enough time frame, and I don't know how long that time frame is, let's call it maybe 5 years. Do you think there's a good arbitrage still to be made to be long Bitcoin and short gold and play a continued convergence in the values of those instruments? Like, for example, could we buy some really long-term IBIT calls and short some really, or buy some really long-term, actually, how do we do it in gold? We wouldn't buy puts. We would buy, now, see, it's a thought experiment. I'm thinking this out loud, and I'm not sure how to do it, but I feel like I want to come up with a way to do a spread trade, a pairs trade, long IBIT, short GLD. Any thoughts on that?
I get what you're doing theoretically. I like you said, in options, you got to be careful of the vol. You could always just be long IBIT, short GLD, but you're shorting something. I mean, I think they're both strength. I really want to personally do that pairs trade. I know you're doing digital gold and then short the physical, and I get it, but I don't know what your time frame is, 1 year or 5 years. I still think they're both going to go higher. So I personally stay away.
I agree. I think they're both going to go higher. I feel like IBIT will probably accelerate higher faster than gold will, and that's
probably will.
Yeah. Maybe I have to just play it with common. I can't do that the way I want to do it with options.
Yeah, I think it might be tough.
The problem is that you gotta when you're short the gold, the margin requirement on that's probably pretty high to short the common.
There's like SGOL. There's all these other ones that you could probably pay for better, but I have to look closer into it, but I'd rather just go long both.
Is there an inverse gold ETF? There's got to be.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is.
Definitely.
If there is, then I could buy the inverse gold and buy the IBIT and somehow figure out a way to do a pair trade.
Oh my God. I don't know if this trades. There's a 3x inverse DULL.
Yep.
Oh, just send the asteroid already. Just send the asteroid. We're ready.
This thing couldn't go to zero faster. Look at this chart.
I just pulled it out.
Amazing.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Precious metals in general are a very well represented group in the fund space. I mean, we have options, my friends. Silver mine. I mean, the list goes on and on. Doubles on all of them. Double inverse. Like, who needs these?
You do.
This is too much. This is even too much for me.
You're looking
at this is where Steve draws the line.
I have a line, John. How spicy do you get with the Bitcoin? You keep it simple. You just do the IBIT, or do you go to some of these trashy ass miners and try to get cute?
The miners, I'm not really into them anymore. You mean like Riot and Marathon?
They've been terrible.
They've been terrible. I mean, just come to Jesus moment when Bitcoin's trading 110. I don't know. You can play catch up all you want, but I'd rather just be in the leader there.
Yeah,
I know even derivative stuff like Hood. You could play Hood. I know you guys are attracted to Hood. That thing's been crushing it. Even if
it's been great.
Being left out of the S&P 500 Friday's announcement, but that thing looks absolutely great. I guess
IBIT's really been the move though. Like even, if you ask somebody this question just earlier this year, oh no, you got to do MicroStrategy. Not anymore. MicroStrategy's not making new highs out here.
Nah, it looks good. It looks great. I'd rather still have IBIT. Yeah.
One that I've been stalking recently. Oh God, what's his name? We talk about him all the time on here. Anyway, hedge fund guy, Novogratz. They just listed Galaxy Digital on the NASDAQ, so you could actually trade options in that now, which is awesome. So this is the old BRPHF. It was always listed on the Toronto exchange, now on the NASDAQ as GLXY. I have a hat here somewhere. I like to wear my Galaxy Digital hat when I talk about them.
You don't have the tattoo yet?
Oh, no, that was funny. So that is the guy who got the Terra Luna tattoo right before Terra Luna blew up. Battle scars, man.
By the way, Chad hooked us up with a ticker GLL for the ultra short gold ETF. There you go.
Imagine getting to tell your grandkids that story one day. Kids, I was trading this Terra Luna and I liked it so much. I was making so much money. I got the tattoo and then they rug pulled me.
How soon after he got that tattoo did that rug pull happen? It was pretty quick, right?
That was way too quick. Yeah. The signals that we get
Yeah, those anecdotal ones are powerful. UGL is the 2 times long gold. I'd almost rather be in that. That looks like a obviously tremendous looking chart.
UGL.
Any of these miners, I look at some of these big miners like the Newmonts and the Barrick Golds, and I think, man, they don't look as good as some of the juniors. Is there some sort of catch up here?
Let me look at the main holders of GDXJ and the weighting. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, like Ashanti and all those.
The bigger ones, yeah. Multinationals. Newmont's got a base going back decades. Newmont's base goes back to 1987. It's ridiculous, this chart.
I have to look closer. Like there's Alamos Gold, Pan American Silver, Harmony Gold. These are major weightings in the juniors. I'm assuming they're all rising bottom left to top right of your screen.
AGI has been one of the best ones in this space for years now, multiple cycles.
Getting away from the gold a little bit, but because I want to do the year-over-year stuff. So we did GDXJ up 66% year-over-year. You got to be in it. Just a matter of how much you allocate. Second is IBIT. Number 3, and I track these very closely, the year-over-year stuff, to really just have long, durable trends. I want to get in 3-6 months out in terms of call spreads. Yeah. Most cases. Third is ARC. ARC is now number 3. Right on its tail is FXI, and then the Europe story.
This is on the trailing 12 months. ARC is that high up on the list.
42%.
The chart doesn't look that way, but the fund is has such a tremendous amount of beta to it that it doesn't need to be at new highs like everything else to be a top performer.
Hey guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the big breakout over the last few days related to that IPO just came out, that Circle IPO? Don't they have a large stake in that?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah. Let me see what else.
What difference does it make though? Look at the way that ARC shook off 15% down day in Tesla last Thursday. Like it didn't even happen.
This ARC, just so you know, the updated, as of rebalancing, this is still 25% Tesla, Roku, Coinbase.
It's too much Tesla.
It's a lot of Tesla.
If you ask me, I don't want 25% Tesla ever. I don't want anything.
No, it's 10% Tesla. I was combining the other ones. 10% Tesla.
Oh, okay.
But then they love the Roku, huh? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they love Roku, Coinbase, Roblox, and she's in Tempest. She's big in Tempest at TEM.
So is Nancy Pelosi, by the way. So you're in good company.
Oh, and they own 5% of Circle, Sean. Good call out.
Yeah.
But they got shares. They got they got IPO shares. They got some sort of deal. I think they deserve that for being the player in the space who buys all this junk. I think that's totally fair. They should get those deals.
Fair.
Yeah.
Who else?
By the way, you just mentioned Roblox. Wow, I haven't looked at that chart in a while. That thing's had quite a run off of the April lows.
Holy that's their 4th biggest position in ARC. Hold on, I was going to say one other thing. Oh, another thing. People kind of forget this. The best performing ETF during Trump's first administration was ARC. So you could say about people feeling good about America's chances, whatever, margin improvement, whatever it is, they flocked to ARC during the last administration. I don't see that much changing here. I think you have to allocate a little bit to Cathie Wood.
You know what else was a top performing industry group during his first term?
What?
Solar energy.
Yeah, solar.
Let me pull up
any interest there? That's not going to be on your list for a long time.
Nobody saw that coming.
It's funny. JC asked me to come on the show to talk about a little bit what we uncovered or talked about in New Orleans and today. And I was poo-pooing on solar that week. And you were saying it's going to come around. It's going to come around. It's going to come around. I'm looking at the accelerator. It was May 15th. And I literally I didn't send you the tan thing, but if you guys have it through your charting platform, whatever, it literally tapped the day we left to go to that Louis Armstrong Airport on May 16th. It got to a sharply declining 200-day moving average at 35.5. And bottoms out. Now it's had a nice 2 weeks during this rally, but I think the same story happens, man. What do you think?
No, it's a super bifurcated space. There's ones that I want to own right now, like Array, even something like what was it, Solar Edge? Yeah, Solar Edge is looking up too with this nice little base. You could find a level in something like Canadian Solar, and then there's other ones like Enphase that are just showing absolutely no evidence of the sell-off stopping. So
I think you're actually going to get a little bit of a treat. I think I'm pretty bullish, like I said, in the market, especially in under-rotated areas. I think this Animal Spirits takes over. I think this actually gets towards 35.5 to 36. So I think there's a play in the next 2 weeks. I think you're actually going to see that a couple closes. I think it's going to come as close to the 200-day moving average as it has in May and last October. I think you're going to see some strength on your shoulders.
I'll tell you one thing about these stocks in this market with these short interests and quantum computing stocks up 10% every other day, and space and exploration. We're talking about ARK out here. Don't short them.
No.
That's a great way to blow up your account. Don't short these names. You don't have to buy them. But holy cow, with the short interest, don't even buy puts on this ETF, anything like that. The risk is skewed so incredibly to the upside for groups like this in this market. When these animal spirits get going, it doesn't matter if these stocks go to zero one day. They could go up 3x before they do.
Could you just describe? Did you just describe fuel? That short interest, that is fuel. I don't want to put that on that fire, man.
Totally.
I got 2 more charts if we have time. We got 2 more.
Yeah. Pull them up.
Uranium, URA. I sent this yesterday. New 52-week high yesterday in URA.
Yeah.
You guys playing the mines?
So how do you play this one?
I was just asking you, do you play CCJ? You could do that. I liked looking at URA. It's had a nice month. You could see the RSI over 70. There's been bidders for this for a while, ever since it closed above its 200-day moving average, and now a little bit of a breakout, obviously.
Yeah, CCJ is the vehicle, I think, in my opinion.
I'm frustrated with a lot of these old nuclears because I built positions in them starting last year, tried to build some really big positions, betting on these massive base breakouts and stuff like CCJ. And because of the weakness into the April lows, I got taken out of most of them. And then they ripped in my face. So I'm in a lot of the new nuclears now, but they seem kind of overheated at this point, like SMR and Okilo. So then I took a bunch of profits in the Okilo the other day. I have a bunch of SMR still. I think maybe a little catch up in NNE. But small positions on CCJ and UEC.
Gosh, I'm pulling up CCJ now. Oh, in the chat, someone had a question. What did he say gets to 35, half 36? I was talking about TANs in the next 2 weeks, the solar ETF. Yeah, these uranium stocks, I mean, obviously I never like to short a breakout. The trees don't grow to the sky. Uranium for me is kind of fully targeted right here at that level that it just closed at. But it's 52-week high is a 52-week high. But I think these have come quite a bit. So I think they come down a little bit, but they're enjoying some green skies. And then one last chart I have, of course, everyone's been looking at it. It's been all-time highs every day for the past 2 weeks or so. If you could put up EFA.
Yeah. I can't buy charts that look like this. I can't get myself to do it. I wish I could.
You were saying something in the previous segment about, I think Sean was plugging JP Morgan, and you said there's something in my brain.
Same thing. Like my brain is broken when I look at charts like this. I'm like, no, I'm not. This isn't for me. I clearly missed this.
Yeah, this is such a hard.
I don't know what they taught you at Stack. Like, you can't buy off the 52-week high list. You live on the 52-week low mustard list. You just have to live on that side. But to me, I love charts like this because there's just, it's like the long line in the DMV, and you're like, there's got to be a better way to do this. But this is a star, man. This is a star.
I know. It's true. I mean, so are you playing it through EFA, or do you go to the individual like country ETFs?
So I love, so I do EUFN, and I have some Germany, EWJ.
EUFN's been as good as any of them, right? That's probably been the best one.
Yeah, exactly. France is looking good too. There's lots of areas, Italy, but you get problems with liquidity. So I have some call spreads on EWG. Check the option chains. It's not super liquid. You got to go major expirations. But this is a very, very clean chart. It's crazy. Again, you guys had EFA up. It's crazy that environment that was in there from April 3rd until April 14th. It truly was. And you can see it's that shaded area in the red underneath the 200-day moving average. It's funny how quickly they exited Europe. It was like sell first and then ask questions later. You had the oversold environment. And then right after mid-April, it said, you know what, let's get in this, and really have had more green days than red, just a fraction of red days since April 15th. Absolutely amazing 7-week run. It's
a relentless bid for stocks around the world right now.
Yeah.
You've been all over the international trade. You've been talking about this for a long time now.
Yeah, the one thing that doesn't give me warm fuzzies, but it actually makes me feel good about SPY is when you talk about the best performers year over year, look how much concentration and overlap there is with SPY Mag 7. We're talking about GDXJ? No. We're talking about IBIT? No. ARK, yes, finally. And then behind that was FXI, no. And then after that was the European story, no. So you got to pick your spaces in S&P, but the fact that we are 2% away from all-time highs, let's go, baby. I was wrong on the sell in May and go away. I thought that was possibly going to have a point, but it never happened. We had an ugly 2-month correction from mid-March to mid-May, and we're back. We had to correct, and everyone was going 8 in January. Oh, how long are these valuations gonna last? We're a little bit stretched, And then the most expensive part of the complex rationalized, came back, consolidated, and now here we are. And SMH is looking strong. So
I'll tell you, if the SPY doesn't make new all-time highs by July 4th, that's going to be concerning. I mean, we got to get there, right? At this
I've
point?
been talking about that on my YouTube. I think we're gonna have a very almost an emotional. I think Trump is having a big America bash for the birthday.
Oh boy,
July 4th on a Friday this year. I think you might have people
fireworks.
just lifting offers. I think it's going to be a nice emotional, maybe 6,200 in SPY right around when you're getting your hot dogs, July 3rd early close. I agree with you.
Nice.
All right, John, man, thanks for hanging out with us, buddy.
Absolutely, dude.
Thanks for
Are you
being part of
joining
the
us on
community.
Spaces, 11 o'clock.
We'll do.
Awesome. Sean, are you coming today? Sean,
you want me
Spaces? Yeah, dude, we have the best time.
We discuss a lot of stuff.
Well, if John's hanging out, then all right, I'll be there if John's there.
Yeah, chat. If you guys are not listening to our Spaces, it's the best hangout. So 11 o'clock Eastern Time, Chart Report Spaces. John, thank you so much. It's always such a pleasure chatting, my friend.
See you guys later.
See you, bud.
All right, Sean. Fast market here. He's always so generous with his time. It's already 9:34. You got some thoughts? Otherwise, we'll just wrap this thing up.
I got no thoughts other than I'll be in New York City with some time to kill on Friday morning, Friday afternoon. Give me a shout if anybody's around, wants to hang out. We'd love to see you.
You really get around these days, huh?
I get around. Me and Spencer got a little shindig on Thursday night in New York City. We're doing
so nice. What are you gonna do?
We've been invited. I don't want to name any names, but we've been invited by a particular company to celebrate their ringing the bell, the closing bell at the New York Stock Exchange. So we'll be doing that on Thursday night, followed by a dinner, hanging out with some traders, and then then I'll be around on Friday morning before my flight. I fly home Friday night.
That is going to be super cool to be there to ring the bell. I've never had the pleasure of doing that. Sounds lovely. Send pics. Is JC going?
JC is not going. He's having too much fun on the beach, he said, and just can't do it. He was invited, but he's too cool.
Too cool for school.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we missed him today. JC will be back tomorrow, as always, and we'll be live as always, 8:30 Eastern Time. Sean, thanks so much for coming to hang out and run this thing with me today. Really appreciate you.
Hey, sorry I couldn't be here right at the open for you, but you caught me while I was walking my dog.
See, I can rant. I would have just rambled until now about God knows what. We would have probably done a lot of commodities. So there's never an absence of things to say. So on that note, everybody, again, join us on Spaces. We really do have a blast every Tuesday at 11 o'clock. And then I don't know what else. We got Chart Report Live later, I believe, or was that yesterday? I don't even know. This is Spencer's job. So you can check the schedule if you want to know what the hell is going to be on our network today.
Email Spencer.
But as always, chat, thanks for being here. Thanks for keeping it fun. Sean, thank you. And we'll be back tomorrow, guys. Izzy, take us out.
I can't take